Hey fellas, good morning. A quick follow up to the problems I was having last time, where this is like a pseudo process for how a map loads when you enter a new one, right? Typically we had the non-random one, so it basically just read from one or two image files. It needed a map data which had the tile information on it. In the episode before the last, I added the support for the object layer as well, so that it automatically spawn low information stuff such as the pods. The first thing we do is we clear any map data or objects that are already there. Got a clean slate. We then read the information for the tiles, and then this is the newest step. If it has a map object layout as well that pairs with the tile layout, then we read those as well, and then we draw the surface, so the map's a gigantic surface, and we place the objects, treasures. That also determines where the players will spawn, and we add the player spawns as well. So then the newer maps are these random ones, and they're a little bit more complicated, but I've simplified this as much as I can really. So the first step's the same, gotta clear it all. Next is a new one. So this is actually what went wrong last time, in that all the object stuff was fine. It was the map layout that wasn't fine, because I hadn't told it that it had been loaded previously, in this step anyway, so that it needed to select a random layout out of all of our entries in the map pool that it was using, and the pool size was 2, 1, 2. When we load the map and select one of these, we need that selection to stick, so that every time we visit that map again, it's got the same layout. What happened after like the third or fourth floor was I had these 3 in a row, then I got to this floor, but it actually had the object data of this floor, so I spawned in one of the entry points that was outside it, and you could see like the objects were all laid out kind of randomly, and that was because it went off the object data of this, but it didn't remember the tile index, so we got to sync those two things back up again. Yep, so if it's not a previously made map, then we just select a random map to use from our pool. Then we read the tile layout, same thing, read the map objects. This is no longer an if. For this system it needs the layout, otherwise, well, there are no objects. There's no point where I can manually give coordinates and place objects, of course, because the map layout's changing every time. It wouldn't work. Then instead of simply going ahead and placing the objects, I have a chance. Currently I think it's just 50-50 for all the objects whether they spawn or not. In the future obviously they'll change depending on the type of dungeon, and it might be one, if it's a foresty map and I want lots of little shrubbery around and I want them to be objects for whatever reason, you can cut them down or something, then their chance to spawn will probably be much higher, or there might be a guaranteed chance to spawn. But yeah, randomize that stuff. And then of the transport points, which are these red ones, 1, 2, 3, 4 possibilities here, only 1, 2 here. There needs to be at least 2, because there needs to be an entry and an exit, but we associate one as the entry and one as the exit. That also implies currently that these random maps, they only have a previous and a next. They're linear progression maps. I can't have, like, say I've got keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't have keep 3, go to sub keep something and then come back. Currently, I don't see an immediate use why I'd want that anyway. It's still possible within a map. Say I wanted that exact interaction I just described, I could have a layout. I could make keep 3 a separate pool which only has one map, and then within that map it could actually be 2 maps where it's like this chunk and then I've got the sub room in the top right, or somewhere far enough where it looks like it's a new map but it isn't. So any foreseeable trouble with that I can deal with. And these won't be all of the maps, right? All of my handmade maps, just like the world map, it needs a lot of exit and entry points, obviously. That's perfectly fine outside of that, so not worried about that. After all the randomness has been decided, we then have to save the information to file, obviously, because if you close the game and reload, we want everything to be the same. And then you do the draw surface, place objects. Now, next up, so to demonstrate all of this working, I've pre-recorded some stuff right here. So I'm going to talk over it. So I'm playing the game, I've deleted the save file, and actually I should pause. What we're walking through just here is I made a new pool of maps, and this is all they are. It's a simple horizontal or a vertical line. It's got the 2 transport points we need, and it's got 3 treasure chest pixels. So, and each of those have a 50% chance of actually spawning a chest on it. So it's very simple to see what layout we have. So for the test, I'm doing that. So if I just go back, new file, we enter, boom, it's horizontal right to left, horizontal left to right with 3 chests, horizontal left to right with 1 chest on the right, horizontal right to left, and horizontal right to left. It actually did it all 5 times, and because this was my first run, I was a bit worried. But anyway, so what I do is a bit more forward. Here, first I go to where it's saved, which is saved in SJFS.Henez. It's all saved in there currently. I go ahead, I delete the file, and then I play it again. So this is kind of the proof of the randomness. Boom. I also may as well start there, obviously. First map, horizontal, 2 chests. Vertical, then horizontal. Oh, I can't keep up. Vertical, horizontal. I open that chest on the 4th floor. Vertical, up, completed. Then I close it, and I restart the game straight away, so I'm not touching the save file or anything. Let's get through that loading a bit. And then boom, vertical with the 2 chests. Horizontal with the 2 chests, vertical with the 1 chest at the bottom. Now there should be an open chest. Ding, open chest on the right. Boom. So, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. Everything persisted. That's pretty much what I want. So while there are like random dungeons, if you make a new playthrough and you didn't know it was random, for instance, you had no outside knowledge, it would still feel like one of the classic RPGs where, you know, everything you're doing is impacting the world, and it's set like that chest, you've opened it, right, and the floors aren't going to change on you. Of course, I'll probably have exceptions. I've always liked the idea of like side quest dungeons where it is actually like a roguelike-y thing. I'd be surprised if I didn't throw some of that in there, but what I just demonstrated is pretty much working just how I want it. I'm going to assume that if I went backwards through the dungeon, all of that would be same, because you noticed on every floor there was 2 transports. There was one where you came from. If you go back, it should do exactly the same. Cool. Have a good one, guys. Thanks. I'm out.